Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Everybody listen via Facebook, via YouTube. This afternoon we got I would say like an emergency show, um, or a show to give us some clarity on an issue. We have our numerologist. Our numerologist is here today, Drea. She's here to do. I gave Drea some numbers on area code 07088. 07088 is my hometown where I grew up in. I gave Drea. I said Drea because the thing about Drea, I gave Drea some background information on my hometown 07088. It is the Vauxhall section of Union, New Jersey. This town historically was goes all the way back to colonial times. Was one of the last battles during the Civil War. Was fought actually on the grounds that Vauxhall is on. So I gave Drea some historical background on the town, as well as some other numbers, as far as phone numbers. Like I said, I gave her the zip code, as well as some history about the town dealing with death and so forth and so on. Uh, Good afternoon, Drea.
Good afternoon, Q and the family. What's going on?
All right, so
I have to take a breath because this was
you froze already. Like, oh man, this is crazy. So Drea froze, y'all. So we hopefully she'll be right back. Her connection froze on us, but like I said, Drea is our is one of our contributors. She's into numerology, and like I said, I gave her some numbers to go over in reference to 07088, and we're going to address that once she comes back because she did the numbers for us. You back?
I'm back.
All right. Well, I just was filling in some space while you had one out. It's gonna be some freezing going on, I guess.
Are we still here?
Yeah, we still here, and like I said, I let the audience know I gave you 0788, which is the zip code of that town, as well as some phone numbers and some historical information. Take it away. Oh, we freezing again, man. This is crazy. All right, I just need y'all to be patient with us. I don't know what's going on. Why we keep freezing up like this? The connection, the connection is kind of crazy. But like I said, hopefully she'll jump back in. Hopefully she'll jump back in. And everything. Like I said, we doing. She did some numbers real quick, so we're gonna go over that and then go from there. But here she back. She's back again.
Listen, it must gonna be a hot show. It just we are.
All right,
I'm back, everybody.
we should
Okay,
we should be good.
I'm back. Okay, all right. So let's start off with we're gonna start off with the universal year. We're gonna go into the numbers of that COVID-19, and we're gonna paint a picture. So
Okay.
we are in a universal year 4. So Q and I are both 4 people because I was born on the 13th, and his numbers are actually reverse from mine. He was born on the 31st. So we like to communicate, we like to be expressive, we like to be leaders, but also we rule underneath like odd and unusual things. And 4 also represents Aquarian energy as well. So sometimes, if you are Aquarius, sometimes people kind of look at you sideways because you are always looking to be mysterious. So we're like a mysterious people. So people who's always watching media is always ruled by 4. So be careful when you're constantly watching it because you're going to get so many mixed messages, but they're going to communicate to you in an indirect or direct way. So you have to interpret the media. And 4 is a mental health number. So for everybody that's watching this, please keep your mental health high. We're seeing so many people unraveling. I'm seeing people unraveling on my timeline. So you have to keep your positive energy high. And I mentioned this like in the post earlier about, keeping the P's up and like kind of, you know, distance yourself from the negativity, but negativity is there, so you have to have that balance as well. So that's the four energy that we're all underneath that too. So we're gonna go down to COVID-19 and break down the numbers on that. COVID-19 is a 9. 9 is completion. 9 pretty much is universal. So how you see COVID-19 started in China, Wuhan, China, and it pretty much spread throughout the universe because 9 is a universal number. So you have to be very careful of like, oh my God, like 9, I thought it's just this type of disease, what they said, the Chinese disease, but how all of us been affected by it is because it's 9. It's a fire number. So it's going to bring that smoke. It's going to bring the heat to all of us, hence why we're, shelter in place, whoever the case is, across the board. So everyone is being affected by COVID-19 as well. Now, we're going to get into your hometown numbers.
Yeah,
I have
0788. Anybody that knows anything about 0788, if you have any questions why Dre is doing the numbers, be more than welcome to put them in the chat, and I'll let her know why she's doing it. Go ahead,
yes.
Dre.
So 07088. First of all, I just seeing the numbers, I was like, okay, this is a lot. It equals out to a 5. And Q, just to put like an asterisk by it, a lot of your listeners that I had did the reading for last time, there you have a lot of 5 energy people that surrounded you. So these 5 is like a masculine number. It's an air number. Also, too, 5 like to be independent. It's like, you don't tell me what to do. I like to be independent. I do my own thing over here. They do not like to be pretty much like a cage bird, as you can say. So you see a lot of 5 people, they're highly intuitive, they're doing a lot of creative things, but when they are low functioning, they can be very addictive and also abusive. So you see a lot of addiction. If people are not people who are 5 or even just your zip code, you see a lot of like, drugs, alcohol being abused, sex, whatever the case is. So, that's what 5 is about. It's also another mental number too. So 5, if they are in a lowly state, they have to be very careful of depression. Hence why, a lot of people self-medicate if they are 5 and they're just spiraling out of control. When I seen the numbers, I was like, oh my God, I see why it's an unincorporated town, because they're like, F union, we're gonna do our own thing over here.
Yeah, that's how people feel that was born in the town.
Right. So people, so that's what I got from that. Also, too, it could be very emotional number, like I said, and also too, it can swing either way because, like I said, 5 like to be independent. They like to do their own thing. I have my notes. That's why I'm looking down. They need the flexibility. So I don't know, people in that town, they're flexible, but also too, they can adapt to any situation that's going on. Hence why you probably see different things going on in town. Like, okay, these people have been through all this stuff and they still are adaptable and they're still here. Don't like to be told what to do. I think I have mentioned that. Like I said, that's 5. So that's the number I see. Now we're gonna go into the hometown name, Vauxhall. Now this, y'all gonna cut y'all whatever. It is a master number 11. So if anybody know anything about Master 11, and you do have some people that follow you are masters of 11 and 22, which is a duality to 2. So whenever you see a master number in your chart, you need to master greatness. And a lot of people don't because they doubtful. So let's get into the numbers with Vauxhall. It's a spiritual awakening. So whoever created this unincorporated town, they had a spiritual awakening. Like, I'm tired of you telling me what to do. So we're gonna break off and do our own thing because we are gonna have this whole spiritual awakening. Innovators, these people was innovators. They was also too visionary. You have to be a visionary if you're gonna break off and do your own thing from the main. I call it the sugar daddy. We're gonna get into union, the sugar daddy. I gotta break off and be independent because I've been so codependent in this relationship. It's a sacred settlement. I kept getting sacred settlement. People who settle in this place, They're very sacred. The land is sacred as well. You can even tell by the name. It's just like it's very different. It's very unique. Powerful. So I could somehow people that reside in Vauxhall from here, they are powerful, but they haven't tapped into their power. So they need to tap into that power to get resources, whether that's financial, whether that's emotional, whether it's social service needs. They need to tap into it and go to Union and go to the state of New Jersey as well. Um, they People in the town have to vibrate high. You have to vibrate high and strive to always be unionized as well. It's a feminine number, so you're gonna have all different type of emotional energies as well. Because it's also too. Remember when I talked about twos, they're very emotional, they're sensitive, but they can know how to pull that card. But also too, they know how to pull the card and say, "Listen, we need the resources, we need other things as well." Another thing that stood out to me was interconnection. Like everyone knows one another, they know their folks. They're interconnected by energy as well, and they have to be because two also is ruled by union. I know that's weird. You have to be united frame to live in an unincorporated town because they're always trying to zap some type of energy resources from the folks here. Also, two is also ruled by love, peace, harmony, justice, and equality. So when I asked you earlier about what type the demographics, what type of people live there, then I can also see from the community on Facebook, I can see a lot of this is being exhibit, but also too, I can see a lot of, hey, we need justice, hey, we need equality, hey, we need resources, going back to that as well.
Mhm.
People from Vauxhall can swing both ways. They can be gritty and aggressive, or they can be gentle and pretty much loving. But they all encompass all these adjectives as well because it's for survival. Survival, you got to be gritty, you got to be aggressive, but also too, you got to have that duality. Like the Master 11, it's a duality number, and you have to be loving, and you have to also too know when to stand down as well. So that is that for Vauxhall. Give me some feedback. How was
Like I said, we those that have lived in the town understands it's in our curriculum in school about the schools about being the Civil War and all that stuff was fought through there, and George Washington came through there. But actually, it's some grounds in Vauxhall specifically, like even in the Union side of the town, specifically in Vauxhall, that the Civil War, the last battle called the Battle of Springfield, was fought in Vauxhall,
mm-hmm.
right on the borderline, which is the borderline down of Vauxhall, Milburn area. As far as everything else you said, I kind of could see it because Vauxhall people don't are very independent of Union. It's not like Union hasn't been there, but Vauxhall people really don't really want to mess with that side of town if they don't have to.
Right.
They don't feel very. I'm not gonna say they don't feel inclusive, but they know how to basically do without.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I told you, the demographics now, when I was growing up, it was a little different, but now it's probably majority of black people in the whole town, believe it or
Mm-hmm.
not. The demographic of Vauxhall has two different sections, which it's funny because you got the down the bottom of areas like 5 or 6 streets, and then you got up the top is like another 10 streets. But if you were from like a lot of people who families that were like originally from the town,
Mm-hmm.
um, their families probably grew up down the bottom, which wasn't really segregated. It wasn't. It
Mm-hmm.
was more. I mean, it was segregated. It was probably about 8 or 9 families down there
Mm-hmm.
in the early '40s, probably, and
Mm-hmm.
then up top you had Polish families, some Italians integrated with some black people that was from up top. I
Got it.
happen to have grew up top, but my mother's family grew up down the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
My father's family moved to Vauxhall in 1951. So
Mm-hmm.
that's just some history. I don't know if anybody that's watching got any comments. I mean, I'm quite sure all this stuff is probably interesting to them, and even if they don't believe in numerology, they probably never thought that you could do numbers on a town.
Right.
they've had a lot of judges that have came from the town, a lot of attorneys,
Mm-hmm.
doctors, um, a lot of people with, like I said, even when they did the census, they said that out of 5,000 people that did
Mm-hmm.
the census, over 2,000 of those people were college graduates.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
that would be pretty high in my estimation, based off of, if you know the demographics of Vauxhall. So,
Right.
um,
Because it's a master number, and so from people from that town, like I said, they have to master, their craft. They got to master spirituality. They got to master, any type of duality that they have in their life. And hence, when you said the people are attorneys, justice and equality, that's part of being an attorney, being a judge. They're supposed to, practice those adjectives, if they want to have freedom for other folks or whatever the case is. So,
I mean, you've had a lot of people historically came out of there. One person that most people don't know is Ulysses Peacock, came from out of Vauxhall. He was Jesse Owens' rival, track
mm,
rival during the Berlin games, and he actually got hurt during the trials, and he probably would have won a gold medal. So he was probably the most famous athlete. You had, like I said, you had doctors. You got a bunch of singers that have came out of the town.
mhm,
Um, you have a lot of what I would consider content creators. A lot of author,
mhm,
a lot of authors. You have right now. You probably have about 7 to 8 people that I know that write books.
right,
A lot of people into the film. A lot of people into arts. So you have a lot of people that want from the town and actually moved away.
mhm,
You had the first black mayor
mm,
from in Union. His family's originally from Vauxhall as well. Bunch of his family's on the page. The
mhm,
first black female mayor of Union, her family's from Vauxhall.
mhm,
Her father's a doctor as well.
mhm,
So you have a lot of, like I said, you have a lot of people, a lot of, believe it or not, for the town to be so small, people in the chat that know could quote me. It might have like 8 churches.
mm,
I mean, a very small town.
mhm.
Yeah, you probably have about 8 churches in the town. So I mean, the town is not big at all, I mean, at all. So
Right,
I mean, so that's basically it. I mean,
right. I got
like
one.
like I said, it's very interesting. Those numbers I gave you were actually the phone numbers for the area. They had changed over a period of time, so
Got it.
you
So
know.
we'll get to those. Let me finish Union and New Jersey, and then we're gonna connect the dots. So Union is number one. Number one, what do you think number one is? They had I want to be number one. I'm an individual. It's a masculine number, it's a fire number. So they know when to bring the heat and know how to displace other energy. And also they know when to take their marbles home and be like, I'm not sharing anything with you all if they are vibrating low. They actually kind of lack vision if they are vibrating on a low frequency as well. So you have to be careful with if you're a number one. Also, too, number one, they want all the smoke, but sometimes they don't know how to handle the smoke neither. So I'm pretty sure people from Vauxhall is probably giving people from Union the smoke, like, hey, we need X, Y, and Z. And they're like, oh, that's not our problem. We're gonna, pretty much direct that to the state of New Jersey. Um, Number one, people also they can also be leaders, but also they can be a bully too. So
Okay.
you've probably seen that throughout your life, growing up there, that they can try to bully unincorporated settlements and try to take the land from folks as well. um Also too, very manipulating, and like I said, they can be disrespectful, especially if they're losing. So you have to be very careful with number one cities, such as a Union, even though it may have the name Union, but sometimes they can be in disenfranchised as well. Um, let's go to New Jersey. Oh, so going back to I think I told you this before, Union and Vauxhall, it's the sugar daddy young girl relationship. If you don't give me what I want, you're not codependent on me. You can figure out how to do it on your own. And so that's how I envision it, Vauxhall was like, well, I'm not gonna be part of this. I'm gonna go ahead and do my own thing over here, and we'll figure out how to be independent. We'll figure out the resources. We'll figure out that later on.
It
Um,
probably, if you section the town Union off and different areas, Vauxhall section holds the voting block. Like,
mm,
believe it or not, if a politician, for anybody that's into that, you win Vauxhall, you're liable to win the seat because the most people that come out to vote is in that particular area.
mm-hmm,
So that's, I don't know if that'll help you, but it does feel like that
mm,
with the sugar. Like I said, the most people that have lived in the town, they don't really mess with that side of town. I mean, they do for resources, but it's always been like its own independence because it actually borders a whole nother county, which is Essex County,
mm,
Union County. So it always has been, a lot of people have tried to say it was part of Newark or whatever. It was never part of Newark. It was part of Essex County, which the whole Union County was, and then it split
right.
off. So that's
Mm.
that. Yeah.
Interesting. We'll get into New Jersey. It's a seven number. So if anybody know about seven, it's a researcher number. It's a meditative number. Also, two seven is also connected to spirituality as well. They're aware of their capabilities. New Jersey know that they can do some things, some powerful things, but do they want to? That's the question. That's always the question. Do I want to, tap into this power? New Jersey can be very spiritual as well, but also critical of, like, let's say people coming in, and I'm talking about people, talking about like transplants coming in. They're very critical and aware, like, okay, who are you? Where you from? I don't know. Should we take these resources from this person? Um, Also, too, New Jersey can swing and be erratic and confusing at times. Because I know you talk about a lot of times with the political system as well. Just even my knowledge of just like Chris Christie and even I have seen it when I watched that docu-series with, can't think of the dude's name, Cory Booker, and
Oh
people
yeah, Cory Booker, Sharp
uh,
James.
who
Yeah.
are you? Should we trust you in Newark? So I can see how New Jersey can have that whole outlook on people, and so they're kind of like, they kind of get bullied from the numbers a lot from Union, because Union's like, listen, this is our town. We're gonna do what we want to do. We'll come to you for the resources, New Jersey, but look, we're number one. You don't tell us. You don't come up in here and tell us what to do. And New Jersey's kind of like, well, let's research and try to figure out how we're going to like bridge the gap between also too Union and Vauxhall. So that's what I got from the numbers, just doing the towns and the cities, because you can do the towns and the cities, especially if you're going to relocate. Because I know some people are like, why is she even doing numbers on towns instead of names? If you like relocate, and then let's say I'm a four, there's certain places that fours shouldn't live because of, it's a certain energy. It may drain your energy. It also may bring you to like a mental health situation in which you can't get out of. And it's a whole breakdown of like certain towns and places. People actually get readings before they go relocate or even vacation, due to your numbers and also the energy that your numbers bring as well. So like I said, when I did this, I was like, oh, this is a lot. It's a lot of history. It's a lot of, like I said, spirituality involved in it, and it's also a lot of people being disenfranchised as well, just by looking at the numbers.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, like I said, it's a very, very, very interesting town. I mean, it used to be a farmland, a lot of farms and uh, milk, milk farm and stuff like that. So the whole town Union example, because of its proximity to New York City, is going through like not a renaissance, but like
Hmm.
it's not the same town. It's more of a
Right.
transit. They're trying to make Union more of a transit city, which probably has already.
Got it.
Vauxhall, I won't say so much. It's like a mixture of urban and in commercial because a bunch of
Hmm.
stores are coming through there now. But the actual corridor that it sits on, like I told you, runs through two counties.
Hmm.
So if you have a business that's like the perfect business, like for example, the largest Home Depot in the country, in the world, is in
Hmm.
Vauxhall.
Right.
and it makes the most money out of all of them because of its
Mm,
location. Its location is like the perfect location. So
got it.
trying to get not trying to give Home Depot a plug, just trying to get you to give you a
Right.
understand of how the town and its location, and because it sits on a county line, it kind of like the best of both counties, sort of say.
Definitely. Wow. That's interesting.
So how was the numbers with the phone thing?
Okay, so the average numbers, which this was interesting too. So 908 that you gave me,
Hmm.
it came out to an 8. So if anything, my life path is an 8. 8 is about money and how do you balance money in the spiritual world. So usually these people who have this, they're trying to figure out, okay, they may have money or they in need of money, but they also can be very spiritual and they're trying to balance out the two as well. So that's what 908, which I thought was interesting. They're the influencer. They're also the executive people. So whenever you see any eights pop up in your chart, like I said, it's all about finances. It's all about being an influencer, and it's all about also too being the executive because they want things done a certain way. People look to them. Um, for different, let's say, guidance or wisdom. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Um, 851 is a 5 number. They want their end up once again, it's a lot of fives that's popping up in this chart. They want their independence. You don't tell them what to do. It's all about freedom. It's all about, okay, let me get out here and do what I need to do for myself and also for my family. So that's the 851 number. This was interesting too. The 687, that's a 3 number. So threes are usually expressive. They're also like, oh, they're caring, but also too, they can be very fired up if they cannot get their communication across. They will fire you up if they feel that you cutting them off. So threes, you have to really be an attentive listener and have to be all right, say what you have to say, and then move forward with that as well.
Wait a
Um,
second, Drea. I need a couple people ask the question. The topic of the show is Drea is giving a discussion on some information about the 07088 zip code. That's the zip code for Vauxhall section of Union, New Jersey. Because I gave Drea some historical background of the city, and I forwarded her some numbers as well as the zip code. So you don't have to provide. Somebody in the queue asked, "Do you have to provide her with the birth date?" I mean, if she's doing your personal chart, you would have to provide her with the birth date. If that's what you want, just put your birth date up there, and she'll do it.
right.
But like she's
Yes.
doing an actual reading on Vauxhall because you can do a reading on the town to give some
Right.
explanation. Go
So
ahead,
we'll
Drea.
we'll say the birthday. So if y'all want like a quick reading, I'll do your birthday. Then if you want like a full reading, then we can get into that later on. So what was I saying? Oh, three, they have to communicate. Oh, so I went on to 964. It equaled out to a 1. And like we talked about, ones always want to be on top. They want to be the leader. They want to be an individual when they're vibrating high. Ones, when they're vibrating low, they can be manipulative. They can also, be abusive, bullying. So that's for folks with the 964. And the 688, another master number. This is master number 22/4. So, they will be underneath our, 4 energy. So, usually with this, they're the masters of the 4. They can seem pretty odd, but everybody knows them. Everyone is like drawn to them, like, oh my God, I gotta get some of this energy. And then they know everybody. But people like know them but kind of don't know them, if you get what I'm saying. They also too need to know how to, master their 4. They need to know how to master their 22s because it's a duality. They can be sensitive, but also too they can be fired up. So that's for the 688 number.
Anybody that's from Vauxhall that may be able to provide some information about the town. I don't know if I provided her all the information, but maybe you have some information. If you put it in the chat, I'll look at it and then I'll let her know if she needs that additional information as well. I did see the 2 birthdays that popped up. I wrote them down. So when she's done, I'll let her know the birth dates.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Dre.
So that's all the numbers that you gave me. So remember, everyone. So I just want to put this disclaimer out there about numerology, because I know some people are like, oh my God, numerology is the study of numbers. It just guides you, and it's just tell you, okay, these are the numbers, especially if you see them keep popping up in your life. Or you keep seeing, like, okay, like I said, for instance, I'll take my birthday. I was born on the 13th, and I'm a Capricorn, so I'm 113. So certain things about me I'm learning about as I do the numbers. I'm like, yep, that's true. Yeah, that's true. It doesn't mean, do you have to believe it? It's up to you if you want to believe it. But when you start seeing numbers keep being repeated or synchronized in your life, you're gonna be like, oh, this is something that's kind of like I need to stay on it. Um, Also too, it's just numbers. If you think about it, when you wake up, you have to look at your clock to see what time it is. You
Mm-hmm.
have to know, how to count your currency, your money, whatever the case is. So everything involves numbers. What's that line? People say women lie, men lie, but numbers don't. Like people are like really believers in that. So when you think about statistics and data, it's all about the numbers. Census is all about the numbers and how you're going to get resources. So, and if you're spiritual, you talk about numbers as well. And Jesus had this many disciples or whatever the case is. So numbers are everywhere, and it has meaning behind them.
For the person that said they keep looking at the clock at 11:11, could you provide me with your birth date? One birth date we have. We'll do this one first. I don't know who it is because they didn't put their name and they didn't let the. When you're using Facebook, I can't tell you who you are
Right.
because you have to let StreamYard use your name because of the privacy issue. Even though you're in
Mhm.
your group, after the show is over, I can tell who you are, but as the show's going on, I can't tell you. The first person is 526.
Oh, 526, Gemini, 8 person. You need to know how to master your money. You need to know how to master money and also the spiritual world. This person here is a influencer. They people look up to them and pretty much are like, okay, what's next? They may be a manager on a job, they may be a director, they may be an entrepreneur, but you are the executive, you're the boss. But do not boss people around and don't turn people off. You have to know how to listen and also not be so stern and be like, well, this is it and that's that. No, you have to also be flexible as well. So yeah.
I reckon that was the same person that did the 11:11 was 526 because she said her name.
And
Uh,
526 is I love that. I actually got married on 526, and my eldest brother, his birthday is 526, and they can be very sweethearts too, very hardworking people as well. So shout out to the 526 person.
somebody gave you that February 4th date.
So February 4th, my Aquarian person, this is your year because you are in the universal year 4. You also in your personal year 4 as well because you got 2 4. No, you're not. You're in your one personal year. So people may think of you as being unusual, odd. I bet you a dope communicator. I bet a lot of people know you. You like, how I know these people, but they don't know you. We're the 4 energy here, so great things are going to happen this year for you because, like I said, anytime you was born on the 4, 13, 22, 31st, and you in a universal year 4, a lot of dope things are going to happen, even though it may seem like a tough time because we're in this pandemic. And you're Aquarius too, so I'm pretty sure you love to be educated. You like to get that wisdom, and you like to achieve any type of knowledge that comes your way. And do not vibrate low because sometimes we can be very, 4 people can be very hateful. We could be very aloof, we could be very distant, but make sure you always vibrate high because it's a mental health number, so you need to be positive.
Yeah, that's my cousin, and he wanted to know what was so funny while we laughed when he put his birthday up there. We're both
That's
Aquarius, cuz relax, relax. But that's it. I mean, somebody else put some stuff up here about Vauxhall, which basically I had explained that to you. Their family came up to Vauxhall. Their grandparents came to Vauxhall in the 30s from the South during the Depression. A lot of
Mhm.
tradesmen, a lot of domestic workers. Like I said, this town goes way back since the Civil
Right.
War. You know
And
what I
another
mean?
thing, I have to ask this question because I'm seeing a lot of Mississippi, Louisiana folks settling in this town.
You have what you. I don't know about. You did have that. I know a famous family, Robin Roberts from Good Morning America.
Okay.
Her father's from that town, Vauxhall.
Really?
He's from that town. I know Dave moved to Mississippi after he got out the service because that's where she was raised.
Yeah.
The 1111. I need your birth date so I can
Yeah.
forward it to her.
For those who see an 1111, that's an angel number. So anytime you see angel numbers like 1111 or 444, and talk about 444 real quick. So you know how Jay-Z had dropped the album 444, and he dropped a lot of odd and unusual and like ownership and stuff that was kind of went over people's heads. So Jay-Z is tapped into 444 because his birthday is December 4th. Beyonce's birthday, I think it's September 4th. So they resonate on the 4 energy, and 4 is the genius number. So whenever I see 4 people, like I said, 4, 13, 22, 31, not trying to say VQ or like special. It's like they have this hidden genius about them. And a lot of times we get kind of misunderstood because we are futuristic, like we're ahead of our time. And people like, oh, they're weird, but they're gonna be thinking about it later. So, go listen to a 444 album and be like, oh, he spoke some truth to power on that. So yeah.
So yeah, most of the people that I would say you got Vauxhall is most of the people that migrate to the town. I can't say a specific state.
Mm-hmm.
Lot of Georgia, a lot of South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, a lot of South Carolina, a lot of Georgia. Um, Not too much North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
You more like have people that left and went to North Carolina,
Okay.
like left the town and went to North Carolina. Um, like I said, you have a lot of Alabama
Yeah.
as well. A lot of Alabama.
Yeah.
Um,
Probably some of my
yeah,
kin folks.
like Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama area. Um, Not too many people from out west that I know that moved there.
Yeah. The reason why I asked because of this sounds like a French, even though I read it said like a UK.
Yeah,
It originated in
it's
UK.
yeah. The town Vauxhall has a town in Britain as well,
Got it.
and it
Okay.
probably was named right after that. But before that, Union was named Connecticut Farms.
Right.
Like
I
I
read
told you,
that too.
it was a farm area, and I
Right.
mean, you really had farms, but to say that they have farms now, people would be like, "What?" Yeah,
Exactly.
you know,
Yeah, because the reason why I asked Louisiana because this could be like a easily a Louisiana type of name with the Vox VAUX, and you know how down here they pronounce it like with the O sound like a
yeah.
O sounding. So that's why I said, oh, that seemed like a French type of name, but okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Well, I don't know if anybody else in the chat has any more questions. Drea, would you like to give them your email address if they would like a more intense reading?
Yes, so my email address is Drea DREA at browngirlfromboston.com. Let me repeat it again, Drea DREA at browngirlfromboston.com. So like when you email me, I just ask for like your full name. So like first name, middle name, last name. If you are, have a maiden name, please put your maiden name on there. That's important. And your full date of birth. You don't have to even give me a time. And then we can set up something so I can tell you which your numbers are going, what personal year you're in, because we all have personal years that we're in. And also too, what do you do with that? Just in case you're like, I'm dealing with some stuff that is, kind of weird for this year. So
Could you give them your Cash App information as well?
yeah,
Because
so
people do listen. Don't take this the wrong way. Anybody that's watching, um, people that do this do charge. She hasn't charged. I don't know if she wants to charge,
no, I
but
do charge.
part of appreciation is to let somebody know you appreciate what they're doing for you. So could you give the Cash App, PayPal, and all that good stuff information, please?
My Cash App is Drea Camille, DreaCamille. That's my Cash App, and my PayPal is Brown Girl from Boston. Or you can just type up just do Brown Girl from Boston, because I'm not gonna give you like my whole name, but just do that. But I do stars though, because it's a lot. So doing
someone
numbers
wants
is
to know what's the fee. What's the fee, Drea?
You're gonna laugh. It's $44, and I
she
give
said,
you
4 number again.
it's $44, and I not only just give you your chart, like I give you your life path. You get coaching. It's not like on my here's your chart by, like I actually tell you this is what you should do with your numbers, and then I can record your session, or I can give you a chart on a nice PDF file so you can have it and go back to it. But y'all have to give me some time, because like doing numbers really drain you, especially certain numbers that's adverse to my numbers.
Why? I need you to explain to the audience why, when you're doing numbers and those numbers are adversity numbers, what is the mental and physical drain by reading their numbers? Explain to the audience what that means.
So some numbers may be fire numbers. Some numbers are fire, air, and water. So that can drain me, because since I am a 13, and I'm like spiritual too, and I do have some sensitivity about myself. So sometimes when I see numbers, like when I did the reading for Vauxhall in New Jersey, sometimes you're like, damn, this is a lot, because numbers can really drain you, especially if you are a sensitive person. And then when I come across certain people, I can tell, I'm like, oh, they're blah blah blah, because they can be very like very hardcore, very aggressive as well. So sometimes, and I see certain names too, I'm like, oh my God, this is a lot, because you may have a fire number like a 9. You may have a lot of 9s in your charts, and 9 people are very like, this is what it is, that's it. And I can see, like, let's say 9s consecutively, and that's like, it's just firing me up, like, oh my God, and I have to like go take a nap. And you could ask any numerologist, if they see certain numbers that's like averse to theirs, and 9 is one of my like neutral numbers, so I can swing anyway. So sometimes when I see 9, I'm like, oh. But it's funny, my mom is a 9, but my mom is a Libra too, and that's like my mom is like literally my best friend. That's my homegirl. But I know if I want someone who's gonna give it to me raw, my mom is gonna give it to me raw.
For those watching through the Facebook channel, Let's Talk, Drea post her information later, and you could check it out. Like I said, you could get her PayPal, her Cash App information, so she could do a personalized reading for you through email. It's best that, like she said, to give her all your information that you think pertinent. As far as like she said, it, if you're married, give her the maiden name, give her a historical background on your parents, where they're from. You don't have to give her their names, but you want to kind of say, because this is important, because one of the contributors to the page brought up a situation about generational curses, and she had asked a question. And anybody that knows about Vauxhall knows that the town has been through some stuff going back since the 80s. And then we haven't really had much problems, sort of say. It's been deaths, but not like a lot of deaths. But like the last 10 years, it's been a lot of death. I explained to you in detail about a couple of them, but it has never really been like a healing, so to say. And then with what's going on with COVID-19, not to scare nobody, a lot of people that we know, a lot of people we close with, because the town is so knit, everybody's connected. So even if you don't have blood to this person, somebody in your family is married to somebody in their family, so y'all cousins. So
right, exactly.
This is the reason why I presented the information to Drea, to give us some information on the town and what it is going through right now with COVID-19 and understanding COVID-19. I did see where I don't know if it was I ain't gonna say no names, but another numerologist tried to say that the 19 to stand for the AI, because A is the. I was like, come on now, like numerology and letters are different. Definitely when you're dealing with this stuff.
I wonder what chart they was using.
Um, I'm just gonna try to answer her these questions. I asked that nobody try to be a comedian, but somebody just said something that got me laughing. I got my gov I got my government payment. Can I set up a reading? How much? I tell you, man, y'all, my people. Somebody said, I just want to know when I'm gonna hit the lotto. Obviously, that individual, you want to sound like a comedian. Um, I
No,
understand that you
no,
may have I understand you may have some trepidation towards numbers, but email her and send that cash app, and maybe she'll give you some information about yourself on whether you should be playing the lotto because you
yeah,
might be
because
playing the
there's some
lotto
stuff.
wrong.
Yeah, because there's some stuff that people have wrote a book, and certain people who have certain numbers they have hit the lotto like mad times. So
Somebody said, "How do you handle the energy of an empath when you compiling the numbers?"
so I think I'm sort of an empath. And so when I see certain numbers, like I said, the fire numbers, I have to really protect my energy. So I do certain things like to protect my energy. Like I do some clapping. I go into a different mode when I have see some numbers. And then also too, I just if I know this person is a fired up person, sometimes I have to do their strictly email because I know if I get on the phone with them, we might have a disagreement and that's okay, because some people, like I said, they don't believe in numerology. So I just have to like say, hey, I can give you a choice. I can just do a recording and send it to you or do a reading. But when you are empath, that's good that you know that because you always need to make sure that you are, you have to understand that's their opinion, but also protect yourself. So whatever spiritual practices you need to protect yourself in, do that. Don't let someone zap your energy because they need that source of energy specifically from you because they know that you are a healer, because most empaths are healers. They're very humanitarians. So you have to protect your energy.
But like I was saying to you, Dre, when I was giving you the information before about it and early in the show, like it's a lot of. I'm not bragging, and this is not to be a bragging thing, but it's a lot of people that have came through there.
Hmm.
When it comes to education wise and higher learning, a
Right.
lot of people have came through there. A lot of people. Um, you'd be amazed how many people came to that town that got dual masters is like normal. Like a lot of normal people that's coming through it just like dual masters and a bunch of stuff.
Right.
We've had some judges that have came to the town that are very influential as well. So it's like I said, it's a lot of talented people, definitely in the arts as well. Like I said, authors,
Yep.
creators. We got like 3 or 4 people that's into movies offhand.
Hmm.
Um,
Because it's a
put,
master number and it's a visionary number, and whenever you like I said, master number 11, you better be a visionary. You better be someone that's artistic, that's also too that is an innovator. That's what master numbers is. Like you see a lot of people who got master number 11s all through their charts. You like, I wish I had that because they haven't tapped. Once they tap in, everybody better watch out because they're here to master being a visionary and also to being spiritual and also giving people that joy through, being a visionary, being awakened, so to speak.
so, like I said, anybody on Facebook, Drea will post her information up later, so you could get in touch with her, so she could give you that Cash App and that PayPal information. And the reason why I'm saying that, and this is just a side note, uh, someone from Facebook or YouTube sent me a Cash App to the channel, and I really appreciate it. I really
Nice.
appreciate it. I got a green screen too. I just haven't put it up yet, so my background could be better for the people because I know during the day my sunlight come in, and then at night I don't really like bright lights. So the green
Right.
screen is going to be interesting because I do not like bright lights. I actually wear glasses that are tinted because of the brightness of light. So
Hmm.
this green screen going to be interesting. But anyway, like I said, sometimes when you provide a service for people, um, people see that you're asking for money, and you don't want them to be discouraged. But this is how a lot of people support what they're doing, and to
Right.
try to expand their brand. Sometimes helping them financially is the way. So
Hmm.
whoever sent it to me, I know who you are. I appreciate it. And if you like to Drea to help you with your reading, your personal reading and an in-depth reading, she's going to provide the information. With
Right.
that, Drea, do you have anything you want to leave us with about Vauxhall? What should we do? Because, like I told you, the town is. We need a healing. We need a day. Hopefully soon, when we come out of this, it's going to be a day of healing, a day of family, because everybody's connected. It's a weird thing if you don't know, but
Right.
once you come around, you be like, everybody's like, it's, like I said, it's very interesting. So do you
Definitely.
have any advice you like to give?
Like I said, definitely the healing piece, as you mentioned, balance, spiritual awakening is coming soon. It's been there, but it's coming. And let Mother Nature do its thing as far as with just cleansing the earth, whether that's metaphorically or whether that's literally, right? And just make sure that you all are staying connected. That's the key thing, is staying connected. And put aside past beef if people have past beef or trauma. So now is the time to really be a united front on that.
Okay. Thanks everybody on Facebook and YouTube for joining in. Appreciate y'all on this beautiful afternoon outside. Enjoy the weather. Have a good day and stay up.
Bye everyone.